Welcome back to Alpha Recap, your end-of-day market briefing from stockalpha.ai. I'm glad you could join us. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for having me. Excited to dig into today's movers.
Great, so today we have three big themes to walk through. An AI push into government technology and biotech, a set of renewables and energy tech milestones, and then a few micro moves around retail attention and legal noise. Let's start with the AI story. Michael Baker made a notable hire.
Right. Michael Baker appointed Stefano Esposito as Chief Product Officer for their GovTech vertical, and the company described the roadmap as being AI-native. That's a deliberate signal.
So, what really stands out here is they're not just saying we'll use AI. They're reorganizing product leadership around it, right?
Exactly. I mean, when you step back and look at this, product hires at that level change incentives. They're positioning to bake AI into modular government offerings, software and managed services that could sit on long-term contracts.
Walk listeners through why that matters for recurring revenue.
If you design AI-native products for agencies, you can convert one-off projects into subscription-style services, ongoing model updates, data hosting, operations. That's recurring revenue versus pure professional services. Analysts note it can change margin profiles and valuation conversations for government integrators.
And at the same conference circuit, Ferromics presented at the MIT AI conference. They're in the biotech lane with a functional immunomics platform.
Ferromics says their approach moves from correlation to causal biology. In plain terms, instead of just finding patterns in data, they claim to infer biological cause and effect, which is a big deal for target validation in drug discovery.
So that could speed up how quickly a potential drug target goes from idea to validation?
Yes, potentially shortening timelines. Again, data suggests this is part of a broader trend where AI platforms are being positioned as discovery accelerants, which then attract partnerships from larger public pharma and genomics companies.
What should listeners watch for to see real traction here?
Look for peer-reviewed validation, licensing deals, or collaboration announcements. If Ferromics publishes reproducible results or signs partnerships with big-name research groups, that's commercial traction rather than marketing.
Okay, shifting gears. Renewables had some concrete execution news today.
Yes, Matrix Renewables announced the project in Bell County, Texas, moved into commercial operations, and, importantly, it secured investment tax credit funding and converted construction financing into long-term debt.
And the capacity was
281 megawatt direct current.
Got it. So why is the conversion to long-term debt and the tax credit so meaningful?
When a project converts from construction financing to long-term debt, it means construction risks, like cost overruns or completion delays, are behind the sponsor. The investment tax credit provides predictable tax equity dollars that improve project cash flows. Together, they reduce refinancing risk and make the project's economics more stable for sponsors and tax investors.
Right, so the project is basically out of the highest risk phase.
Exactly. It's in the operate phase, which is where returns start being realized and forecasts become more reliable.
Positioning Universal also made a distribution move today with Geotab.
They listed two solar asset trackers, the TT600 and TT603, on the Geotab marketplace. That's a distribution play. Geotab is a fleet telematics platform used by a lot of asset managers and fleet operators.
So putting hardware on a marketplace like Geotab reduces friction for buyers?
Yes, it shortens procurement cycles. Instead of sourcing through multiple vendors, fleets can order through a single telematics ecosystem. Easier procurement often means faster adoption, especially for commercial and off-grid solar applications.
And then there was a Hong Kong listing today. Sigenergy went public on the exchange there.
Correct. Sigenergy listed on the Hong Kong exchange. The IPO release touted strong institutional backing, but didn't disclose offering price or proceeds. That omission means aftermarket trading will be the first place to read demand and pricing reaction.
Always something missing in the press release, huh?
Yeah, Yeah, that tracks.
So taken together, what pattern do you see across those renewable items?
We're seeing commercialization across the stack, project-level de-risking with Matrix, distribution expansion with Positioning Universal on Geotab, and capital market access with Sigenergy's listing. Data suggests sponsors and suppliers are moving from build to scale. Less construction risk, more operating cash flows, wider distribution channels, and new public comparables.
Right. Let's touch the micro moves, retail and analyst signals. Google Trends flagged Spirit Airlines with a jump in searches today.
Google Trends showed about 20,000 searches for Spirit, up roughly 75%. Those spikes often signal short-term retail interest and can presage volume and options activity as momentum traders pile in.
And H.C. Wainwright raised a price target for fibrobiologics to $8, which could stir small-cap biotech action.
Analyst target raises can create headline-driven volume even when fundamentals haven't changed. For nimble traders, those are catalysts for short-term gamma and liquidity shifts. Analysts note such moves often increase the odds of volatility.
Short take. Search spikes and target changes can move things quickly, even if briefly.
Exactly. Momentum matters.
Now, legal and ESG. A few specific data points here. Faruqi and Faruqi put out a reminder about a class action filing deadline for Oddity Tech.
They reminded shareholders about a May 11, 2026 filing deadline covering certain purchase windows. That's an immediate operational detail for affected shareholders. Litigation overhangs can weigh on sentiment and create multi-quarter uncertainty.
That's never good.
No, it's not. Shareholders need to check eligibility windows with counsel or claims administrators if they want to preserve options.
On a lighter ESG note, Medical Solutions donated $150,000 to Serious Fund Children's Network, and Peak Credit Union received a 5-star Bauer financial rating for the 60th consecutive quarter.
Those are reputational data points. They don't move markets tomorrow, but they can influence flows into funds that weight ESG or stability metrics over the longer term.
So Ben, if you had to give listeners 3 things to watch next trading day, what would they be?
First, contract awards or federal procurement updates tied to Michael Baker's GovTech unit to validate the AI-native strategy. Second, first-day trading and Hong Kong filings for Sigenergy showing IPO pricing and float. That will tell us demand. Third, sales cadence from Positioning Universal through the Geotab marketplace and any production or tax equity filings from Matrix's Bell County project.
And quick follow-ups. Watch options and volume around Spirit, and any court docket activity on the Oddity Tech matter ahead of that May 11th deadline.
Correct. Those are the near-term volatility drivers.
All right, let's close with the takeaways. What should listeners remember from today's recap?
1. AI is becoming a horizontal amplifier. You saw it in both GovTech and biotech announcements. 2. Renewables are moving from build to operate. Project de-risking, distribution integration, and capital market access are all happening at once. 3. Retail attention and analyst notes remain potent short-term catalysts for volatility.
Good summary. Analysts note these are tactical moves that can affect sector economics over quarters, not an instruction to buy or sell anything.
Right. This is informational only. No personalized investment advice here. Just context and data to help listeners track the market signals.
If you want a recap in writing or have follow-up questions, head to stockalpha.ai. If you have questions about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Thanks, Ben. That's it for today's Alpha Recap. Markets closed, and we'll be back with more after the next session. Take care.